Now, so we got a lot of kind of fan questions, a lot of it about how you train grip leading into these shows. I imagine, of course, you talked about wrestling. I personally was a wrestler, so I feel like just wrestling, all the collar tying, of course, the wrist rolling, all really gets your grip going. So I imagine you initially had a great background foundation for having a grip, but usually, how do you train grip nowadays in terms of some of these heavy shows? I know we've seen you do 200 kilo farmers walks in each
Uh,
hand.
Honestly, I would for the most part, like anything where I have to use straps, I usually start out to the point where I can't hold it anymore. So for like deadlift, I'm not throwing straps in until I'm about 600 pounds. Um, just to work that grip out as well, you know. Farmers carries, I'll sit and hold after runs. One of the best things though, and I haven't done it for a while just because I feel like if you work grip out too hard, it kinda has the opposite effect.
Mm.
It starts kinda hindering, at least for me, and I've heard this from a few guys, but, um, really dedicating time to grip, I wouldn't train it too much, during your training sessions. Um, Actually, I talked to Ode Haugen. We did a judging out in Sacramento at a show, and I was just kind of picking his brain because he's got one of the best grips in the world, you know. And
Even
he
at
was,
70 years old, still got it.
yeah, yeah, he was saying, and I've been doing it just because why not? You know, a lot of people neglect the thumb. They think it's just your fingers. They don't really throw in that thumb, which the thumb is honestly a big muscle for the hand at least. So he was saying a shot put, holding a shot put in your hand
Mm.
and just holding it, you know, while you're watching TV or while you're driving, you know, a decent size, you know, 15 or a 20 pounder, and just holding it while you're driving because you're really working that thumb out as well. So that's one of them. But even in my wrestling days, I don't know if you guys ever did the sand trick.
Oh, the sand was great. It just, we got more recommended sand when we're recovering from like wrist injuries. That was like the first thing we go to was grabbing the sand.
Yeah, yeah, rolling the wrist and opening and closing in the hand. Yeah, yeah.
So doing the shot put, that's a good one. I think something that I may incorporate. I've seen like, of course, like Brian Shaw. He always would talk about grabbing the blobs, which is almost like very similar to
Very
that
similar.
shot
Yeah,
put. But
yeah.
but of course, that's a great tip. There was also a question in terms of Hercules hold advice for training and competing.
You know, I've never thrown in. Actually, the first time I ever did hook grip. So I didn't even do hook grip for the nickel stones. Um, and then I questioned if I was going to do it for because I just haven't trained it enough. But I questioned it when I did the Denny stones at the record breakers for Rogue. That was actually the first time I ever did hook grip. So um, yeah, I think that I think Hercules hold is just more, can you endure the pain? I don't necessarily think it's a lot of grip because I don't when I'm picking, you know, when I'm picking off heavy farmers or a frame or something, I'm not focusing on grip. And I tell everyone that I train with, don't focus on grip because that's the first
Hmm.
thing it's going to go once you start to focus on that. Focus on your steps, focus on anything else but that. Um, because once you put your mind there, that kind of now you're focusing on it. You're worried about, oh, well, this finger's slipping or this finger's slipping. So with Hercules hold, yeah, it's just kind of a
Did you replicate it in the gym?
the
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 actual
the
like a setup, like a Hercules hold setup. Did you replicate it at
oh,
all?
no, I couldn't figure out a way without building something, you know. But so I just held farmers really. I held a heavy frame or a heavy farmers and just, you know, really worked on that pulling down, even though it's from the side. It's still working similar muscles. So yeah, Hercules is it's a positioning thing as well. You
Mm.
know, kind of everyone kind of goes straight out instead of kind of bringing your hands in just a little bit or bringing your chest in just a little bit. Not like almost like a chest fly, but like almost similar to that because it takes the pressure off the top of your traps and off your lats a little bit.
Mm.
So
No, no, that's a pretty good tip. And then there was another grip question. Is have you ever had to train through tendonitis pain in the forearm?
um I was having some issues in the elbow. The best thing that helped me, and I think that it was there's not a lot of things that help with that. Um, but it all ties in with your bicep tendon as well. So what I was doing, and I put on like a figure eight or something that would just hold my wrist where I wasn't gripping down, and I would just do holds like off the bar and just let it really stretch out all behind and all here and into your bicep. That's the best thing that worked for anything tendonitis wise or like a bicep strain. Like I used to get a lot of pain right up
Is that
in
the tennis elbow?
yeah, yeah. But and I couldn't figure out a way to get that to go away unless I got a deep tissue massage until I started doing those holds. So it's just things you pick up here and there.
Mhm.